Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Elspeth, and today I'm going to be doing the portrait of somebody who is very celebrated for their art and contributed enormously to the world of painting. I'm going to be doing a portrait of Claude Monet and taking a look into his experience and whatever his spirit would like to share with me. I think it will be fascinating. I don't know very much about his personal life. I know he was married a couple of times. He lived in France. He was born in November and died in December. 86 years apart, of course. And I'm just fascinated to look into his energy and see how he saw the world. All right, let's start a new painting. The first match of a new box of matches. All right. Ooh, that's hard. All right, I think it's just going to be one flame today. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right, let's open the call with Claude Monet. All right. So I'm getting an image and I can hear the sound of leaves, crackling leaves. It's like he has young hands, like a 4-year-old, and he's touching leaves that are like from a vine. They're thick, dark leaves, and he's crunching them in his hands. Feels like they grow, like he can reach them just out of a window. And the leaves are growing up the side of the stone wall outside. And next I can see like a indigo blue silk ribbon. It looks like it's a loop and a bow. I feel that it's his mother's ribbon. I'm seeing like a hilltop. It's a natural field of wild, tall grass, and I can hear the breeze through it as it sways the tall grass, and as the breeze sways through the tall grass, it's like it sort of ripples in waves. You can sort of see the breeze moving over it and sort of, flattening the tops of these grass. It's like the grass is seeding, so you can see the tops of the grass and the fluffy, it looks fluffy as the light catches it, the seeds. And you can see the yellows and the oranges of the sunlight passing through the long stalks. So it's just these sort of beautiful images. They look beautiful through his eyes. Okay, I can hear a fire crackling in a small kitchen, and it feels like a small, dark, damp house. Feels like his childhood residence, and the kitchen feels like square and, yeah, dark and sort of damp, I guess because of the stone walls. And but there's a fire burning in like a iron. It looks boxy. It's an iron furnace, and feels like his dad loading wood into the fire. And I can feel Claude's knees. It's like he's wearing shorts, like navy blue shorts. Why is he wearing shorts? Maybe they're like his undergarments. And it feels like the family's sort of preparing for breakfast. You can smells like warm milk. And it smells quite earthy in this kitchen, and you can smell the charcoal and like the debris from the fire. But he loves the fire. He loves it. He loves watching it. It's mesmerizing as it's being loaded up before the awful screech of the closing the door. I don't see a sliding door, but there's some sort of squeak in the sort of oven fixture thing. I can hear like the sort of clip clop of like wooden soled shoes on this floor. Feels like his mother's getting ready, and I can hear like footsteps upstairs. So it's like a stacked house with a floor above. Okay, now I see outside, and he's outside and he's holding feels like his father's hand, it's like they're navigating a sort of a muddy path, and the sky is beautiful. It's not just blue, it feels like it I think it's an early morning because the sun isn't quite up over the hills yet. I don't think that they're in the country. I see other houses they're sort of short. Like the buildings are quite short, and It feels boxy, like lots of boxy little dwellings with flat roofs and cobbled stones, and I can hear like a horse, and buggies. I can actually hear like a steam train in the distance. It has a beautiful hollow sound to it, to the whistle. It sounds like a really open sound, and it reverberates around I guess it's a city. It's a city, but I feel like it would be sort of unrecognizable now. You can still see plenty of pockets of nature. The sky is really wide, for example. It's easy to see the treetops. Okay, and now I'm seeing some food. It's like in a garden setting, so like a public garden. And it feels like a special occasion. And I can see there's like a red ribbon tying a box. And I see like raspberries. And this black shoe polish and frilly. Feels like he's accompanying. This feels like his aunt and his mother, that he's having like an afternoon sort of picnic with some treats. These feel like good memories. I can see the like wooden spokes in a carriage wheel, and the lacquer of looks like a varnished doors of the buggy. It just feels like beautiful shiny black, and there's like important sort of pompous people riding past in these buggies in this part of town, and it feels like he's holding his breath, like he feels like he's still young, like around 4, and he's stuffed into these clothes that I'm seeing those shorts again, so it feels like he's wearing this cute little outfit with like a white linen, like a heavy cotton button-down shirt and navy shorts and shoes. I see straps on the shoes, and he feels uncomfortable, like it's spring, but he's still cold. But this was sort of the nicest outfit that was available, so that's why he's wearing it. And he's just observing the people about town. And it feels like his aunt is quite well dressed. Like, see gloves, like, and lace and like frills. She's wearing a hat. And I just feel like there's hands like all around him. Like they're sort of fussing over him a bit. Like they have these they're like patisseries or something, and they're portioning them out and serving him, but it feels kind of fussy. He wants to start eating, but he's having to sort of follow directions. So he's feeling a bit impatient. But it's very stimulating. There's a lot to observe around him. And then they return back to his house. Feels like the early evening, and it feels cold, and he can't wait to warm up by the fire again. And it feels like there's something really simple for dinner. But he's still thinking about the raspberries that were decorating it feels like it was a tart or French pan, sort of, with the almond flour and almond paste. He loved those raspberries. That felt like a real treat. That seems like it would have been really unusual too, to have raspberries if it felt cold in the morning. So if it wasn't spring, then it could have been the end of summer, because that would make more sense, right when it's starting to get a little bit chilly outside, but you've still got your best outfit would be shorts at that time. So maybe it's the end of the summer, because otherwise the raspberries are really sort of telling the time of year. Okay, now I'm hearing a cello. And he's really feeling the resonance of the sound of the cello. And he's older now. I'm hearing 24, and he's working in a studio. He's painting, and he's visualizing, he's remembering a performance that he saw, and it really was mesmerizing, and it took his breath away. I'm feeling also that there's romance in his life, and there's a connection with this music that he's remembering, and the way that he's feeling about a woman. What's her name? Camille? Not sure. This is probably his first wife. But there's something very, like he could feel the vibration of the cello through his rib cage. Something very spiritual about this. He's very affected, obviously, by his senses are very heightened, and he's He's sort of at the beginning of his journey of starting to sort of think for himself in terms of his artistry and what he sees. And there feels like something rebellious in this, sort of as if he was, you know, like in a punk movement. It feels quite rebellious to start seeing and painting things as you observe them and as you feel them, as opposed to what you've been told things should look like. So it feels like he's, I see him, the back of him, and he's standing, he's quite slender, and he's sort of stretching his arms out as he's reaching the top of he's fixing the top of the easel, and he's doing the first undercoats of his canvas. And I hear the word muse, so he's concentrating on like a female figure, and I feel that he's painting someone in real life, but he's calling to memory this performance with a cello, and his painting is being informed by that feeling. So he's infusing this painting with the emotion and the sensuality of that performance and the feeling of the deep notes resonating through his rib cage. It's like he could feel it in the floorboards. It was really a moving experience. He loves music. And it transports him to his creative mind. It really helps him to think about. Actually, it helps him to stop thinking and to just paint with feeling. That's what he's really interested in. He's interested in capturing and communicating the feeling of his subject, whether it's a bowl of fruit or a beautiful woman or a landscape. He's interested in that connection, connecting very closely with what he's painting to try and capture the essence, not just of how he feels about it, but what is the essence of what he's painting. Look at this long fuzzy beard. It's sort of like, it reminds me of electrical storms. He quite enjoys having something to sort of hide behind in this beard. Even though it was sort of the fashion at the time, he enjoys sort of, I can feel him like with his hand like combing his beard and sort of pulling it down over his chin and smoothing it down when he's concentrating or thinking or getting ready to make his next brushstroke. This is sort of how it's like a self-soothing, sort of like smoothing his beard down with his hand. I just heard like an ignition, like a lighting up a cigar. Can definitely smell tobacco. Is it a cigar? No. There's a pipe in his studio, but there's also, I do see like a short cigar out in like in the metropolitan areas. Yeah. But there's a pipe that's sort of like his trusty pipe in the studio. I see like a copper pot with a long spout. And like a small, he has like a small setup in his studio that really makes him feel at home, where he can make like a hot drink. I can see his brushes, and they feel quite coarse. He's like flicking the brushes with his thumb. And I feel like there's like something tying the bristles together, something sort of starting to fray. He goes through brushes. He is quite aggressive with the large brushes. I feel a real tenderness about him for his family around here. I feel that he loves his family. He's protective of them. This can be quite it feels like he's taking a risk, and it feels like he feels supported. He can be quite turned off by the sort of politics of the art world at that time. And he's really taking a leap of faith here. And it's going to be a leap of faith with money. He's starting to get a real name for himself, but he doesn't want to compromise and he doesn't, like the people that were passing by on his visit to the gardens, he doesn't want to be serving them for the rest of his life. He wants them to come to him. He wants them to appreciate and see the beauty that he sees, because he feels that they're sort of blind. They're sort of going to these soirees and collecting art as if it's just, you know, currency to be exchanged, or just, you know, not exchanged, but status symbols. And he wants people to love his art as an access point to seeing the beauty that he sees that really moves him. He wants people to be moved. He wants to be really good. He knows he's really good, and he wants to sort of challenge what people think they know about art, because so much of it feels dominated by politics. And he's determined to challenge their senses. And he feels like a chef in this regard. The people don't really know what they want or what they like until it's served to them in the right way. He's like a scientist. He's always sort of testing and refining his color palette, because he really does feel like he's on the leading edge. He feels that he's actually one of the lucky ones, that he's starting to be trusted and get in with some influential promoters that trust his talent and trust his new vision. I feel that there's something happening in the world. This could be around the time of World War I. And this is having an influence on his art. It's sort of like throwing off the old traditions, because there's so much change and innovation, and it feels very unsettling. There's also a lot of disaster and trauma that's happening, and new illnesses, but he feels like he doesn't have anything to lose in moving forward with his strong ideas and sort of radicalizing the art world as he knows it. He feels that it's more important to be, to have self-respect, and he's tuning into his own bravery. He's seeing a lot of bravery around him. There's, you know, young soldiers dying, and I'm feeling 18. Is this what's happening around 1918? Something's happening around 1918. 1888 to 1918. Something around those dates is a very formative time for him, where he's I'm hearing the words sound like fracture, manufacture, something like he's putting into place a new structure and a new signature for his art, and this is the grand formation time between 1888 and 1918 is when it feels like it feels like construction. It feels like construction is happening with his career, and feels like his spirit is working through him to solidify like this new art practice and a new philosophy and a new a structure in his own constitution. Is that right word? His personal constitution. Yeah, he is defining himself. And this is the exciting time in his life where he's taking risks, and they're not popular, they're not known yet, they're not accepted or appreciated as art at this time, but he is trusting himself, and he knows what he's working towards, and he's sort of gathering his information. I feel that he's having to also do sort of like pedestrian kind of commissions as well, while he's growing and birthing his new style. And he's starting to infiltrate his paintings with his new discoveries. Sort of grooming the clientele to normalize his quite radical, visionary way of painting. And it's a very exciting time because he's not the only one. He's at the forefront of this movement. And it feels like a very exciting time, as if it is like, I imagine punk bands emerging in the 70s. There's a sense of camaraderie amongst them, that like they're bucking the establishment, and they're gaining popularity with common folk. Not just because it's challenging people to use their eyes and to be moved by what they see, not just sort of looking at these paintings blindly, like they're just looking at a textbook of what things should be. Because he finds often that there's a disparity, there's a discrepancy between a painting and what the actual subject looks like, especially in nature. And this is leading him towards, now I see the hay bales, and I see, of course, the shadows and the dark side of the hay bales. He's seeing violets, he's really tuning into his palette. I also feel that there are different pigments available. This feels like an exciting time because it feels like there's also like a revolution in the materials that are available to him. I'd like to research that, actually. I'd like to see if that's true. What I'm picking up is that there are new pigments available. And so he's very excited to use them, and not to just mute them and make everything look like some other artist's painting. He really is a rock star in this way. And this is a time there's a lot of discovery and innovation happening in the world. It's sort of like the more that's discovered, the more that's discovered. There are breakthroughs in science, and that's having an instant impact on his life, because yeah, there are more colors available. I just heard titanium, so there's probably more minerals, and I wonder if something to do with this war, it's opened up new, I heard Xinhua, so China. I'm seeing opulent reds, like this color red right here, and white, stark white. So these feel like, now I don't recall seeing too much of those colors, particularly in his paintings, but I think the titanium also started to impact the different blues. And yeah, I'm feeling a strong resonance with the art materials. Also, I'm seeing like this bamboo, and there's new brushes. So there's culturally a lot of shifts, and I also feel that he's quite spiritual, and I'm seeing a lot of reflective surfaces. There's water, but there's also crystal and glass, and he loves seeing the bubbles in the glass, like in windows or in like hand-blown glass vases. And he loves the way that the glass illuminates different lights. Like he's seeing sort of green and pale blue, like ripples and bubbles and like little details in the thick glass. I feel that there's quite a seriousness and a precision to him as well. And he's not, I can hear laughter, I can hear him laughing. He's a warm soul. But I feel that there was a little bit of anxiety and making sure, like retracing his, like an effort to be sort of sure of himself. He, on one hand, was quite courageous and brave, but on the other hand, really did want to be taken seriously and didn't want to be left behind. That felt like a balance. He could either be leading the pack or be left behind. So he had to make sure to really be on his game. And this felt exciting. This felt like very serious stuff. But, he quite enjoyed his wife's company in that she was a relief from taking this so seriously. She would help him to come back down to earth and not take himself so seriously. And she really adored him. All right, I think I'm going to leave it here actually, and I might come back to finesse it. Yes, I probably will. Thank you so much for joining me, but hang on, I feel like I do need to clear up this little part on his nose. it looks like he has like a broken nose, and actually he has a very strong nose. So I have to just fix this quickly. And I'm seeing his mum actually, as I paint this nose. She was a strong woman. Sort of, I just heard widow. I don't know if there's a way to check if she was a widow. If his dad died first, but she was a strong woman. All right, there we go, that's better. Oh wow, that was really fun. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and send you lots of love and good health. And yeah, I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.